All right, various topics. First combat results, retreat, advance, after combat, Russian movement, and a few other things. So this is Dragon versus Bear, hyperwar in the 2020s. Russian forces here, the blue forces, and Chinese forces here. Now you can see in this video, you can see North Korea is this area right here. This is Pyongyang, right at the map's edge. So these red units are North Korean as well, right? Let's see, all these units here on the edge here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 9 units are North Korean units in North Korea. This is the Gobi Desert. This is Mongolia. So Mongolia is here, down here, over here, down here. This is Mongolia over here. Or what are called scenario contingencies by the rule. Definitely completely forgot to do that. Definitely want to do that. Alright, but this is going to be some catch up here. I had my first Russian advance here, all these Russian units here advance, and had my first combat right here. So the Chinese infantry division was here, and the town of Yinshi here. The Russian Combined Arms Corps attacked and rolled a 4. It was the only modifier was -1 because the defender's in a town. So modified result of 3. It was 450% column, or no, the column was 400 to 499%. Rolled a 4, -1 is 3, which is a DR result, defender retreat. So all defending ground units retreat 1 hex, and attacking units can pursue. So it made sense that the Chinese division would choose to fall back along the rail line there. So then the Combined Arms Corps advanced. That corps is hyperwar capable, so you should be able to attack again. I don't believe combat's mandatory. If I remember correctly, it's by choice. So with 40 kilometer hexes, it would make sense that it was voluntary. There's game scale 40 miles. Sorry, 40 miles. 40 miles from side to side. So yeah, definitely makes sense that it would be voluntary. But yeah, in the second follow-on phase, which is the hyperwar phase, units that are hyperwar capable get a whole nother turn. Same structure as the first normal phase. Okay. Enjoying this, actually. Enjoying this. I made a lot of decisions. Here, this was just basic combat. Russian Combined Arms Corps against Chinese infantry division. But I went back and forth about whether to commit. Whether to commit a Russian attack air unit or a fighter unit, and then from there, after I was considering different options there, then it was do the Chinese respond with their hyperwar capable 5th gen fighter unit here, or do they respond with their fighter unit there? I finally decided against all of those. It didn't seem like a point to commit those early, but of course it also shows me how these were not ideal setups, which I knew they were not going to be. All right, back up here. So my cards here. This is U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Command TRADOC G2. G2's intelligence, the intelligence section of a general staff. So these are these enemy order of battle cards. I'm going to be going through them for as long as I'll be going through them until I finish the deck, while I'm playing these modern, near future war games featuring China. So this is Chinese order of battle. So this is a type. So let's start here. Main battle tank. Main weapon range 3,000 to 5,000 meters. Nomenclature, this is the ZTZ-99 Alpha. Pretty nice looking. Reminiscent of, most main battle tanks today seem to be vaguely similar to the M1 Abrams, but this also looks reminiscent of the Leopard, I think. Huh. I am no treadhead, but that kind of looks like just vaguely reminiscent of a Leopard hull with something like a Challenger turret. Alright, main weapon 125mm main gun. So that's pretty cool, actually. Alright. I mentioned G2 intelligence section of a general staff. That reminds me that recently, I don't remember if it was last video before last, or just recently, I made a comment. I'm not taking it back, but I made a comment that I am not intelligence. I am Army officer, career officer, but I am not intel. That's just didn't mean to offend anybody, but I just never had any interest. I deal with a ton of intel. I was dealing with a ton of intel today, but dealing with intel is not the same thing as being intel. And I can say in my career, there's only one point. There was a time years ago where I was at a fork in the road, and one of those forks was to go into what's called strategic intelligence. And I decided at that time that if I were going to be forced into strategic intelligence, I would go with it. I would be okay with strategic intelligence. But things turned out differently. I went down another road. So that's that. That's what I meant by that. I'm sure I didn't clear up any offense. Oh, and one more thing. Where is it? Here it is. This, man, Red Dragon Green Crescent. I have been doing more scanning, and as well, watched a great video. I really wish I could remember the guy's name, but it shouldn't be that hard to find. You know, look for the YouTube videos, or actually I think I saw them through Board Game Geek. But Red Dragon, Green Crescent, Naval Warfare in the 21st Century. Great videos. Two videos, part 1, part 2. Guy does a great job. Really like that. Really appreciate that. And now I'm really excited about that, because it does look like I can play a more or less straight. Actually, if I remember the guy's video correctly, I think I can play 2021 year 2021 U.S. and allies against China straight on. So in basically the Western Pacific, that is right what I'm looking for. So that should be really interesting to see what I can do with that. This is in regard to what I was talking about before, about why I'm looking at all of these modern or near future games featuring China, and especially U.S. versus China. Even though here obviously it's Russians against Chinese. So there is a Russian scenario contingencies table and a Chinese scenario contingencies table. I guess I was supposed to roll on those early. I will do that. I will record those results, and we'll go from there. Really enjoying this though, Dragon versus Bear.